Alrighty, spawning down here in the bottom left, in the red. Give it up for the Terran player. It is BYUN. Spawning up here in the top right, in the blue. Give it up from Team NV. It is DRG. Right, so some TVZ action coming out here in the final series for the day. So from Shopify Rebellion, BYUN has been doing some good stuff, man. We've been seeing them kind of lately in the super tournament, doing some good stuff, as well as just in general. He's going to be going into barracks into a gas. We do see that expansion coming out here from DRG. Now, DRG is definitely one of those players that likes to go either into like a Lingbane style or go into roaches. So I think we could see that kind of heavy roach style coming out from him, especially like kind of the style that we've been seeing from Rogue in the GSO. So there we go. Barracks going to be becoming almost complete. And we'll see, does BYUN go into Reapers here? Or do we see him essentially go into a Marine? That kind of dictates where we're going to go from here. Now, it is going to be a Reaper. Eventually, we should see some Hellions and stuff coming through. And BYUN going to be taking an expansion. Just going to go across and kind of scout. Very crucial to see, you know, is it going to be a hatch first? Is it going to be some kind of aggressive spawning pool matchup? You know, what really is going to be there? So, SCV is almost across. Just the Overlord here for DRG, just slowly floating across. There we go. Does scout that it is indeed a hatch first play. 4 Lings on the way and 2 Queens, as we do see BYUN finally getting the factory. Eventually behind the Marine, we will see that reactor come down. And since we're just going to see this more kind of standard Reaper Hellion style now, because of recent actions and because just how the meta seems to kind of shift back into roaches, I think we will start seeing at least some Banshees coming out from BYUN. I don't know necessarily like if he's going to make like 2 or 3, but could potentially see 1. And for the moment, just going to be drones. We do have speed on the way for the Zerg. Now with BYUN finishing up his CC, he's got a 3rd CC on the way. Knowing that there is at least that 3rd CC there. Well, he doesn't know it's there, but you can assume. And now that's Starport. So Starport tech is going to be delayed just a little bit, but getting the additional command center will allow him to have a little bit more production overall, which later on in the series will help him out tremendously. So BYUN not able to really get any kills. He is going to be able to at least kind of push some of the Lings back, waiting on the Hellions to join forces with us to be able to essentially kind of push into the natural, maybe go up into the main if it does call for that. Now, with the Starport finishing up for BYUN, could be seeing the Liberator coming out from him. It does look like that is going to be the choice. And so, essentially, he wants to attack into 2 positions at one time, you know, sending the Liberator up into the main, and then eventually just kind of sending the Hellions and stuff into the natural, and really forcing DRG to have to multitask. But DRG does have the Overlord speed done. It's going to come in, going to get a good scout of what is coming through here for the Terran, and can kind of make assessments from there. It doesn't look like he's going to go into a Roach Warren or do anything too crazy behind this. He's just droning up. He doesn't see the pressure, the immediate threat, right? So Stim on the way now for the Terran behind us. He does have that 3rd base and is going to go ahead and start taking it. Marines trying to get on top of the Overlord, not able to get it though. And obviously going to be seen here from DRG with that Overlord of the Hellions coming through. So there's a couple of Hellions down at the bottom, but there goes the Liberator looking to go in, get into the main. Now there's an Overlord in position that will be able to spot it in time, but we'll see if these Hellions are able to get anything done. They're going to start focusing down on one of the Queens, kind of back up. and eventually just kind of move back. We do see one Ling able to scout out that there is at least a third base for BYUN. Has +1 on the way. And yeah, I mean, Liberator not going to get too much done. Unfortunately, the Queen's just getting in position. There is another Spore Crawler coming down, so he might be able to get... No. He's delaying mining time, though. That is pretty nice. Gets the Creep Tumor. And yeah, I mean, BYUN just trying not to overextend too much. He does essentially get one drone and some more mining time. Eventually, it does get taken out. And unfortunately, it's just like the Hellions here from BYUN not able to get in and do any damage. Now, what is DRG doing behind this? Well, he's taking a lair. He's getting a Baling Nest. I think eventually going to get Baling Speed. And we could see ourselves into a Baling Ling Muta kind of style coming out here from DRG this game. Reaper going to be taken care of by the Lings. And instantly we see DRG bringing back those Hellions for a potential counterattack from the Zerg player. Yeah, the Overlords be zooming all right. There you go. So, Queen's just spreading creep, and 2000 Atmospheres isn't the biggest map, so it feels like creep spread going to be able to get across pretty easily here for the Zerg. Fourth base taken now for DRG, and he's got Burrow coming through. He's got Baling Speed coming through. He's got those +1 about finished up. Nice little scan with the Hellions. Going to clear up some of the creep trying to get spread. And this is just going to be a very crucial thing here for the Terran player. He wants to make sure creep does not get that far. If you let DRG get the creep going all the way to your base, you're going to have a tough time. Beautiful engagement here. Actually getting a bunch of these Hellions with the Lings. Doesn't lose too much there. And now we have a little bit of a push coming across. Or he decides to turn back, actually, with the Marines. He does have 2 medevacs on the way. He's got combat shields. And I believe Stim is already done. He's got the armory coming down and now going into Widow Mine. So we'll at least be able to put on some pressure. Not going for the tanks in this case. We do see him slowly starting to push across the map. Now, does this actually get seen here from DRG? No, it does not. So he doesn't know just yet. He will be able to in just a second. With the creep coming through, we will see that actually get cleaned up. And there are a handful of Balings. Baling Speed is not done yet. It's about 12 seconds away from finishing. And the Marine's going to start pushing in on top of this. Now, he does have a Hellbat. And he does have those mines. But the mines are not burrowed at the moment, as he's trying to bait the Balings into these mines. Now, combat shields, or concussive shells, excuse me, going to be finishing up here in just a moment. Does end up losing a handful of... Oh, almost loses a lot there. Notices it just in time. Ends up having to pick up some of the Marines and move out of there. Now, this is where it gets very scary for the Zerg player, or for the Terran player, because now we see massive amounts of Lings coming out here. +2 on the way for the Zerg. He is going to take another hatch, so going to go up to 5 bases. He's already got a macro hatch coming through. He's got the Infestation Pit and a Hydralisk Den, so actually going to go into Lingbang Hydra, eventually go up into Lurkers, and just keep the pressure up. And when you're a player like BYUN, this is going to be tough to deal with when you're going mainly just Marines and a handful of mines. There we go. The pickup is pretty good. We do have 5 SCVs killed off as a little bit of a counterattack does come through. Ends up getting backed up. And the mine's able to take care of everything. And now BYUN just continuously going back and forth here, just trying to push in wherever he can. But there's just so many Lings right now. We look at the units tab, 50 Lings, 64 Lings, 572 Lings altogether. And yeah, I mean, eventually the medevac's going to get picked up. He is trying to like get some kind of damage done, but it's so tough. So, Widow Mine's going to get burrowed. He's going to push in towards this 5th base, slowly start moving the mines up. He does have burrow speed on the way, but 14 SCVs have fallen. You actually see this nice little counterattack coming down. He is going to be able to eventually get that bottom base, but with DRG counterattacking into this 21 SCVs, doing the following 26. And, that is so much damage. 32 SCVs do go down. Still at the same time, BYUN trying to push in towards that 3rd base, but DRG with the Lings, with the Balings, I think there's just a little bit too much here. Does get a couple of good shots, but not the damage done that he really needs. And there's still a Ling here into the third base, just getting it damage done. Eventually, we'll see BYUN kind of backing up, and DRG just going to start pushing forward. We actually have a couple of Vipers being made behind this, as he's already up to Hive Tech. He's got the Hydras coming through more and more. He has not thrown down a Lurker Den yet, so that is kind of crucial. There is still a little bit of a time here for DRG, essentially, but with taking that much SCV damage, this is going to be tough. Now, BYUN does make a lot of SCV, so he's still at 16, but to the 78 of DRG definitely is a little tough situation. Beautiful Widowmine shot, though, getting a good chunk of those Bailings. Going to be able to focus down the remaining Bailings, and this could be the attack here that BYUN needs. It's going to go up to this third base location, focusing down the hatchery. And once again, it's going to go down. There are more Lings coming through. Adrenaline Gland's going to be coming through. Ends up picking off a good chunk of the Lings and Hydras, at the same time attacking down here at the bottom. The Queens transfusing each other. Not going to be enough, and GG's. There we go. Spawning down here in the bottom right from Shopify Rebellion. Give it up for the Terran player. It is BYUN. Spawning up here to the top left in the blue from Team Envy. It is DRG. All right, so game number 2. BYUN doing fairly well. Goes into the early third base. Obviously, was keeping the pressure up with the Hellions. He didn't get a lot of damage done, and actually took a lot of damage himself. You know, losing 32 SCVs is nothing to scoff at. But somehow, I guess, just had enough to be able to kind of overtake it. Now, we do see Spawning Pool coming out here from DRG, actually going Spawning Pool first into Hatch. Definitely can get a little bit aggressive. Maybe try to send a few Lings across the map and deny the expansion. But BYUN is definitely one of those players that is not afraid to make his CC in the main. Especially if he thinks that there's some kind of aggression coming. So, all right. You finally see the CC coming down for BYUN. Gonna send an SCV across the map, and once again, just wants to get a good scout and see, you know, what his opponent is up to. It is going to be that pool first, so when he comes in here, seeing how low everything is, actually the Lings coming across. Does he scout the Lings though? No, he's not. I always feel like if you send across the SCV, you kind of need to go up this ramp. You might be able to scout it out. But it's only 4. And of course, you know, DRG thinking that there's going to be some kind of proxy. It is something that BYUN is not afraid to do. It isn't going to be, though. So behind this is going to be drones. So it's not like an all-in or anything from DRG. Just kind of more of a safety pool first. Fine, this is going to be Hellions, and once again, I think we do go into more of that kind of Liberator into the main with the Hellions, eventually transition into like Marine Mine, Medevac. Throw in a few Marauders and just keep pressuring the different bases. I think the thing that really helps out is BYUN is so good at his multitasking, being able to attack in multiple places at once, and still even having to deal with the damage at home, just able to overwhelm his opponents. The thing too is like, in the case of DRG, like he's going very heavy into this like Ling Bane style. And Bailings, even though they are really good, they essentially just kind of take away your supply. Like, if you don't get the damage done with them, it's like you can't just, you know, remake them in the same way you can as like, I don't know, I guess like a Hydra or a Ling. So it's not like you can just like attack and then like move them back is basically what I'm saying. It's kind of like a kamikaze unit in a sense. Like, obviously you can like roll them back and forth as they become roly-polies, but it's not like a Ling where you can get in, you know, kill off a couple of SCVs and then like run back. So it's gonna be Cyclone opening actually from BYUN, going into the factory play. And it is going to be Banshees this time. Maybe, actually. So he's going to go... Oh, okay, so he's going to go Medevac into Banshee. Interesting. Armory is going to be coming down, so we will be able to at least see Hellbats coming out. And DRG has his third base. He's just going into Lings. He's droning up. He's already at 39 drones. Now, this is one thing that I've noticed about DRG is he doesn't tech up really quick. It does seem like a very kind of long transition. He just goes in. Going to see a little bit of a medevac drop coming out here with the Hellions and a Cyclone. See an interesting build coming out. Behind this is going to be Banshees and more Hellions. That Armory is about finished up. Stim on the way now. And these Lings can go for a counterattack, but he might need those at home. Yeah, there's just so many queens here, though. Holy cow, 7 queens. 8 queens, something like that. Let's have 7 queens, okay. So Cyclone might be able to get some damage done. They'll be able to at least clean up some of the Lings, but with the counterattack coming through, eventually the Hellions die. Cleans up the Lings at the cross. Yeah, this just gets taken care of. Takes out the medevac. The Marine's going to get surrounded. And yeah, not the best opening from BYUN. Interesting to say the least, but not able to get the damage done. And now a big counterattack coming across here with the Lings from DRG. This BYUN just kind of holding things back. He does have the Banshee. There it is. So it is going to be flying across the map. Second Banshee on the way. It is going to be Spire behind this. So it's going to be Lingbane Spire. Kind of capitalizing on the fact that you've just lost a lot of units. You're maybe going into mech and you're going heavy into Hellions. You're not going to have a whole lot of anti-air. You've used a lot into that attack. Yeah, and the Banshee not really getting anything done. He does get 2 drones, but considering how much he lost, definitely not enough to make up the difference. More Hellions coming out, a Banshee as well. And eventually he does go into the E-base, but already the Spire almost done. We have another expansion coming down, a 4th base for DRG, and God, he has to get something done here if he wants to keep into this, but DRG just looking so strong. Yeah, and he doesn't want to fully attack into this. Already Lings gonna catch on to this. We'll end up losing them, but with bailing speed coming through, the bailing nest obviously already done. These Hellions just going to be able to clean up some creep. And really, that's going to be about it from BYUN. I mean, maybe he goes into the natural here and just suicide sees. But when you have a bunch of mutas coming out, I don't know. Yeah, beautiful surrounds coming out here from DRG. We'll eventually be able to take care of all of those Hellions. Yeah. Yeah, with the queens. Hellions gonna be taken care of. One Ling has a dream. Okay, well, he survives one. Double Banshees. I mean, essentially he's just kind of going around, but now mutas are out, and this gets very, very scary for BYUN. He does have Widow Mines coming out. He's got turrets finally kind of going down, but how many mutas does he have? He's already sitting at 8. That's a pretty scary number early on like this. He's just going to go into the main. There's only 1 turret basically holding this out. And the Banshee's just going to be going across once again. Here come those mutas. Going to be able to finish it up or kill it before it's able to finish. Let's get 4 SCVs. The Marines will finally be able to come in here and kind of push this away. I think DRG is overextending just a little bit. Let's get 5. Doesn't he lose any mutas, so I think he lost. Oh, he didn't lose any. So I guess that is good. He's going to be able to add on +1. It's getting 30 Lings and going into this very heavy, like, Lean Bane style. Now, the Banshee's going to be working away onto the hatchery here, but literally DRG just waiting for the cloak to run out, and then he can just kind of pounce on these. It doesn't take that much damage, and he can literally transfuse the hatchery if he wants to. There we go. Yeah, so BYUN definitely kind of in some trouble here, right? He's going into the Hellions. He's got a few mines coming through now. Let's have that second factory, and it is going to be just mines with the mine upgrade coming through. But this is something that, I mean, if he can somehow get the Bailings taken care of, he can definitely get on top of the mutas and not really have any trouble. But the muta count's starting to get high. He's at 12 at the moment. He's going to be focusing down. Oh, actually takes a nice hit there. Yeah. DRG unfortunately not able to get in, but he will go down here towards the bottom. Takes out 13 SCVs with a nice little bailing run by. And the Overlord here from DRG going to be able to get himself positioned into the bottom, potentially go for... I mean, he could go for Nidus. I don't think that's what he's going to do at all, but at least has that potential. Mines do go down as essentially BYUN now, the one in the defensive posture. Is DRG's muta count, man, going up to 20. This is just a dangerous flock. He is playing it pretty safely, though, like, all things considered. Like, being able to kind of delay these expansions, being able to essentially kind of shut down the mines and not lose any of your units is so crucial here for DRG. He is about maxed out, killing out another mine, just trying to reposition itself. Gonna have Infestation Pit, Hive Tech gonna be on the way pretty soon. And yeah, I mean, he just has enough to eliminate the turrets. He doesn't even have to really care about them. The only thing that's really gonna hurt him is the mines, but oh no, the Bailings. Oh, beautiful mines. DRG trying to do these like kind of like multi-prong attacks, but it does definitely feel like BYUN is kind of well defended. He's going to start going into Thors now. He's got concussive shells on the way, +2 being added on. But with DRG being maxed out, I mean, this does give him the opportunity to build up resources and eventually just keep taking bases. He's already on 5 bases, could potentially take a 6th here pretty soon. BYUN trying to push the creep back, but just instantly gets replaced here. And DRG definitely in a better position than the previous series. Does still have a couple of mines, but oh, does get a nice hit there. More mines do go off, actually eliminating a lot of DRG's lane count here. Even supply blocks him, but DRG instantly goes back up to maxed out. Now he is transitioning actually into a lurker den with the Hydralis den down obviously as well. And God, that just becomes very, very tough. Lurkers, mutas, banes. It's like, what do you do as a Terran player to defend against this? I guess maybe attack wherever the Zerg isn't. He's able to pick off a couple of queens. He's got +3 on the way, but oh, actually takes some damage there. The mutas just picking up any kind of reinforcements that they can. Thors and the Marines will be able to come back. And yeah, I mean, he's still at 17 mutas. He's got the Hydras coming through. Eventually, we will see those lurkers being made. And he even has a 6th base now coming through. So just starting to take the map. You look at the creep spread, literally more than half of the map is actually DRG's property. That is just insane. +2 now complete for the Zerg, as we do see BYUN slowly starting to push on creep, trying to spread out as best as possible with seismic upgrades and the adrenalines. DRG definitely putting himself in a pretty good position here, trying to micro back. A couple of Widowmine shots going to go off, not getting the best connections, as it does look like DRG able to split off. The Bailing still going to be able to roll in here. And yeah, this is just not looking good. The tech switch going into the Hydras going to be very crucial. 10, 12, 15 SCVs do end up falling, as it is now 80 drones to 52 SCVs. And he does have mules, which helps out a little bit, but overall not going to be the best. The mute is still alive here, going to be able to take care of that sensor tower, which denies a lot of scouting opportunity here from BYUN, as he's not going to be able to see the run-bys coming through, and he has to somehow deal with this. But Mute is able to kill this off so fast. Actually, medevac moving the Thors over to try to help push that away. And right now, just really waiting for the tech switch into the lurkers here from DRG. He has the capabilities, waiting for the upgrades, I guess, before he actually makes them. And yeah, this is not looking good. Does a good job focus firing down some of the baitings, trying to at least keep that down, switching over into tanks. 54 links though gonna get made, as we now see DRG pushing it back BYUN. Once again, both players very low in economy as far as not having a lot of minerals, but with DRG getting maxed out once again, we actually see DRG getting the victory. Alrighty guys, without further ado, spotting here in the bottom right in the red from Shopify Rebellion. Give it up, it is BYUN. Spotting up here in the top or bottom left, whatever, I don't know. Give it up for the blue third from Team Envy. It is DRG. Go. Alrighty, so game number 3 on a map that I feel like is one of the craziest maps we've had for a while. Obviously, you know, you have these little slow zones that you can try to send some flying units across. It does make escaping a little bit harder, but it is closer. So do you just kind of take the closeness and attack, or do you just slow it down and go around? So hatchery going to be coming out this time. It's going to be hatch first into pool. So we'll see essentially kind of where these players do want to go with this. Now, excuse me, this does have gold minerals. I mean, we'll probably see them trying to utilize that at some point. And we'll see. We'll see kind of where they want to go. Now, obviously, the mutaplay was really strong from DRG. Able to shut down a lot of what BYUN was wanting to do. Because BYUN is one of those players that does like to go into that like marine mine kind of style. So kind of working around that and just making sure you can just kind of shut them down. I did like the tech switch into the lurkers, even though we didn't get to a point where he actually morphed them into lurkers. It still was the premises there, and I think if the mutas would have failed or just kind of slowly got shut down, the lurkers could have came in to kind of clean everything up. But getting so much damage, this is one thing that DRG is really good at, is going into like the Terran's base and just eliminating his economy. It's actually been really good. So BYUN does finally have that CC done. Obviously, we see DRG with the hatchery. It's going to be droning up again, and it's something that DRG does time and time again. He just builds up to the, you know, like 50 drones, essentially, sometimes more. We've seen him go up to like 80, 90, and then eventually you start kind of going heavier into the lings. It's very much a case of, do I really need army units at this point? Can I just drone up? Let's take a third base behind it. And we see actually BYUN going into Marines, not opening up into a Reaper. So this does allow DRG to essentially kind of free himself up and drone. The big thing right now, though, is DRG hasn't really scouted in the main. Like, he knows there is like 8 barracks. Doesn't know that there's 3 of them, though. And with Stim being done, this could be very deadly, especially since all he's really making is drones. He's only got, what, like, he has no lings. Yeah, I mean, eventually I think he does scout it out around here. Unless he just, like, goes around. Yeah. He's looking for the Overlord, though. Such a good play. Got reactors coming down to be able to kind of reinforce this. He's got a factory on the way behind this. And BYUN looking for an aggressive attack. He's going to go ahead and send across those beautiful Marines. I think it does end up getting scattered by this Overlord. He's going to see it. Sees a handful of Marines walking across, and I think this is when we will actually start seeing some of those links coming through here. But the thing too is, like, he just spent all of his larva going into drones, so he's not going to have a whole lot for army per se. Now behind this just going to be queens from our Zerg player. He's already up to 5. Gonna be adding on 2 more to make it 7. And behind this, we do actually have the reactor coming down for the factory. He's got the starport coming down as well. And even with the scout of the handful of lings here, really sure what's going on. Stim pack is about 5 seconds from done, and you actually see him just go across with this. Or is he just gonna go into a marine drop, essentially? Yeah, he's just gonna attack the front. That's good. Combat shield's on the way. Oh my god. Is he actually just like 5 head, man? He is just gonna go past the vision.
Our forces are under attack.
He just goes past the vision. That's insane. Well, at least this was gonna be seen by the creep. You get a nice little scan. Start clearing up some of the creep. 10 lings on the way. There is a lair as well as some roaches. Quite a bit of queens though, so this is going to get pushed back, but with stim being done, he's just going to back up. I think he's waiting essentially for the medevacs here. Isn't sending everything across though, so not a full-on attack. I guess he's just kind of pushing back the creep essentially. We'll be able to have the medevacs and kind of move this up and around, be a little bit more active. Nice little wraparound coming out from DRG, but with the stim, we'll be able to clean up a good chunk of those lings. 12 more lings on the way now for DRG. He still has a really high queen count, though. He has not lost a single queen yet. Just been lings. There we go. Adding on those additional marines. It's a huge attack looking to come through. Now, there is no bathing nest. It is going to be +1 and that roach speed timing that we've seen him use time and time again against Protoss. Now looking to use it here against this Terran in BYUN. Nice little counterattack looking to go across for DRG as the third base for BYUN has been taken. And going on to the creep once again, and the Lynx looking to try to surround this as best as possible. The Queens trying to get focused down. Let's have to be careful though. He doesn't want to get wrapped around too much. Kills off 3 queens, 4, 5, and almost gets to 6, but we'll end up getting it picked up. So not bad here from BYUN. DRG now in that transition, making 13, 14 more roaches. Does get the cancel on the 4th base, on that gold base, and needs to back up, kind of re-heal himself. But this attack coming from DRG could be the nail in the coffin here. Like, even though he's killed off some of the queens, it's going to be kind of an interesting play. We do got +1 on the way now for the Terran. He does have tanks on the way, adding on those additional barracks. And essentially right now, BYUN just trying to keep the aggression up, keep the Zerg at home. And BYUN really hasn't been able to attack. I mean, he's still going to come in here. We'll be able to take care of a couple of the lings. Eventually does get picked up. Moves back as another attack looking to go down towards the bottom here. BYUN, once again, just trying to keep the Zerg as spread out as possible, that he cannot attack all everywhere at once. And it really is crucial, right? So DRG, or the maps in general are very, or the bases are very close together. So the creep spread going to be easy to spread right to his opponent's base. So keeping it back is going to be crucial. Queens will be able to finally kind of pick this out and push it back. But DRG doing a really good job. He's actually almost supply capped at this point. 190 out of 200. Yeah, I mean, going into those heavy Ravagers, going into heavy Roaches, just tacking up like crazy can be very crucial. We do have Marauders coming through. We've got, you know, some tanks and stuff going to help deal with this. No, but they're kind of down here at the bottom. We'll actually force a pickup as he sees this attack coming in here. The tanks are going to be sieged up onto the low ground. We'll actually force some of the Marines back. Explosive Bows land on a good chunk of the army here, though. For BYUN, 22 SCPs have ended up falling. Going on top of the tanks. There is no vision on the high ground, though, so he's got to be careful. Eventually, we'll go ahead and back up here. But a very nice pickup from DRG. Going to be able to even support. And no, he won't supply block. But he does kill off 23. Now on the other side, you have this nice little drop. He is able to take out 12 drones at the same time to try to even things up. It is 52 workers to 50. So still very close in supply somehow. A third base not able to really land and go damage as the pathing getting cleared up more and more for the Zerg. +2 on the way, about halfway done. +2 just now starting up for BYUN. Yeah, I mean, the tank's going to be able to start shooting onto the roaches a little bit here, but... I mean, even after all the efforts here from BYUN, it definitely feels like DRG starting to pull ahead. Does have more roaches on the way. +2 is about done. And, I mean, he is continuously denying this fourth base, so that's pretty good. Oh, he crystal bows his own roaches. No. Third base is now retaken up here towards the north. And again, DRG just clearing up the pathways. Another scan goes down, trying to clear up this fourth base location, trying to make sure that DRG does not take the gold base at whatever cost. And, yeah. Crystal bows not going to make their target land. He's going to be able to start pushing into this. Obviously, he is up 188 to 157, looking very good. Marauder heavy, though, is what BYUN has, and with more roaches coming through, DRG setting himself up for a potential victory here. The tank count isn't that high. He's at 4 tanks. 2 of them are kind of on the high ground. 2 of them down here at the bottom. There you go. Tank's going to get a couple of pot shots, trying to spread out as best as possible. Crystal Bow is going to land on some of the army here of BYUN, with more roaches coming through. A couple of drones going to be taken out at the same time down here, but this is where the big attack is. Crystal Bows landing on top of the Marauders, killing it off. GG is called, though.